here in good old southern New England, northern Connecticut, in the valley. So first of all, I'm gonna go over, we're gonna go to YouTube Live and see whether we're up and running, and we are. First of all, I'm gonna do it. So with that, I'm gonna kind of just sum this all up. This is what I've been thinking about for the past 10 minutes. I'm going to sum everything up for you. I'm going to sum up all the YouTubers that are talking about the news, whatever it may be, the coronavirus, 5G, whatever. I'm going to take the data. I'm going to sum up the CDC warnings and all these other things, which I have all the links for, and you will get them. But what I'm going to sum up here is we're going to be fine. Stop stop being fearful. It's just the coronavirus. We've had it before. It's been around before. Yes, they probably messed with it and genetically altered it. But okay, you stand more of a chance of dying from the flu, the regular flu, because that changes every year too, than you do from the coronavirus. I think that something else is going on that they could or may be using all these agendas. We got to keep that in mind too, constantly. All these things that we talk about all the time. I don't know. I'm just shaking my head. We as Christians should not be fearful from any of this. Even if it does come here, and they may say that it will. It's all right. They're saying a lot of still are saying that it's not here, but it obviously is. Let's go over to this website that I show you almost every day. And the updates, okay? It says right there that there's 59 people confirmed. So it's here. Let's go and select the U.S. We'll show you right where they are. With that, okay, Los Angeles, San Francisco. San Francisco declares a state of emergency, and they don't have any confirmed cases there. None. This is all fear mongering. Are you fearful? Are you really? You shouldn't be. These numbers, yeah, they may be frightening, but they're going to tell you, and it's going to get worse. Some people are not even calling it a pandemic yet the CDC has. Some people say the CDC hasn't, but it has. This from. Let's see, where did I get this? I got this from Sister Jules, who is in the house tonight. Jody Jules, that's what I call her. So, according to the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, okay, their new audio recording for today, February 26th, Wednesday. And let's see, I think the thing is about 36 minutes long. I listened to about 34 minutes. I stopped it right at this last phone call from somebody. And it's kind of funny, because they seem to be, Trump is going to be on at 6:30. He's going to go live at 6:30 and talk about all this. Democrats are already on his case for saying that, don't worry about the coronavirus. Because he's optimistic, and they're calling him unprepared. But in any case, this last phone call, I'm going to play just for, I think it's about 2 minutes. And you'll realize why I'm playing it, because of who calls in. So we're just going to listen to that for a moment. Well, let me go see if I can, I'm going to set up, I think you might be able to hear it in Mixer. I'll make sure that you can. Hopefully with that set up. All right, where was I? Let's go back to that phone call. Let's listen to who's calling in and who's asking the questions, okay, and why.
from Ben Tinker from CNN. Your line is now open.
Hi, thanks so much for taking my question. This morning while he was traveling in India, President Trump said that he thinks that the coronavirus is a problem that is going to go away. He seems very optimistic about this, and we're trying to figure out exactly why he believes so strongly that to be the case. And so my question for you is, what information is your agency specifically giving the President and the White House about the current state of the coronavirus outbreak?
Okay, first of all, yeah, they want to find out why he's so optimistic. CNN, right, who shouldn't even be on the charts for being a news agency anymore. I heard their ratings are so low. But in any case, they're all liars. They've been found to set up scenes and create news and whatever. And so they're looking to find out why he's so optimistic and to come back and harp on him for something. But anyways, here's the response.
As you imagine, we brief the secretary daily, and the secretary is the lead of a White House task force, and Dr. Redfield, the CDC director, is briefing them daily. In terms of the course of this illness, we have a team of mathematical modelers working with us to try to predict the trajectory. One hypothesis is that we could be hopeful that this could potentially be seasonal. Other viral respiratory diseases.
Okay, I'm going to end it just right there. So what did she say? They have mathematicians, they have, think tanks, whatever, going through these things and the scenarios. We talked about the event 201 from, 2 weeks ago, where they actually went through the scenario and played out the scenario, which took place and actually happened 3 months later, supposedly. Now, this is supposedly that there is a coronavirus out there that is affecting everybody and is so contagious. But we got to, think about a couple of things now. We got to start using our noggins and using our own discernment, and pray on these things, because some things just don't make sense, do they? Right? They just don't make sense. And of course, ones like, San Francisco mayor declaring a state of emergency when the virus isn't even there yet. I guess, you can be prepared, but do you need to declare a state of emergency? This is how that word has been used over the past couple of years, and used so often that people really see it as just commonplace now. Usually when, I grew up, a state of emergency, man, you were up and alert and you were prepared. Okay? That's not what it means. That's just one step closer to martial law. But in any case, I digress for that one for now. So, here is the latest. Nope, that is not the latest. Let me refresh this, because it's way past 80,000. 81,000, something like that. Let's go get some other records. All right, well, let's just go to the next one. It's not loading very fast. So this is the latest, stats, whatever you want to call it. 81,321, totally confirmed. Okay, 59 in the U.S. Hong Kong, and South Korea growing. Everything's growing. And we already have the thing in the United States. And you know what? All right, let's go back. It's still loading. That's surprising. Very surprising. Let's go back. This was yesterday, Tuesday. So it only went up 80,000. It has seemed to have been, the numbers anyway, slowly slowing down. I mean, it was going at like 2,000 a day at that kind of a rate. And see, this was the day before, 79.5. And you got 80, so 900 there, and it's gone down to about less than 1,000 or 1,000. But in any case, if that is the case, I'm just gonna close that out. So anyways, I mean, yes, the CDC is, I was sent this by another sister in Christ, and I don't normally, I'm just going on what's being reported here. It's not where it comes from. I do No, because I did listen to the CDC update for the day. So, that's how I found out that this was factual anyway. And it goes on to say the Centers for Disease Control Prevention, and you've already heard it, is warning Americans that they should brace for the spread of the coronavirus into their communities. Big talk about the communities, where you live. Be prepared. Your community should get prepared, period. So we're asking the American public to prepare for the expectation that this might be bad. Okay, that was according to the New York Times, which I hold no weight over whatsoever. They lie a lot. And they don't get banned. All right, so, yeah, I'm trying to lead you in another direction because, okay, so we got the CDC and their warnings. There's a state of emergency for San Francisco. A woman in Singapore tests positive for coronavirus and the dengue fever at the same time. I heard that there was at least, 4 very contagious diseases out there. I'm sure there are more. I'm sure they still got Ebola in Africa. There's all kinds of stuff out. Swine fever or swine flu or what is it? Yellow fever, swine flu. And we haven't heard about the measles in a long time. Where did that go? Did that go away? I don't think so. It's not being reported on. It's all out there. Coronavirus. Who is that attacking? What are the stats from the death of these people? Who are they? Now, I couldn't find any while I was looking past 2 hours, but I have heard that it's mostly people 60 years plus are the ones that are actually dying. And then I can go into all kinds of, you can call it conspiracy theories, assumptions, whatever, on why just that demographic, that age group, whatever you want to call it, why are they somehow feels like they're being targeted, doesn't it? And then there's this, okay? And they're still talking about a cure for this coronavirus, okay? Russia claims that they have it. This is an old article dated January 27th. They had it way back. They put it out there. Maybe we will have a universal vaccine, right? After all, it's a pandemic. Have you heard that word yet? I have. It's a pandemic, which means it's worldwide. It hasn't hit every single country yet, but a pandemic is one that could. Russia has the drugs to treat the coronavirus, but global epidemic possible by March. Well, if they already have it, it's not March yet. It's February 26th. Yeah, so whatever. I mean, they have it. So then why isn't it being used? If they have it, and I'm sure they do, because they don't normally make a virus without making an antidote. Go prove me wrong on that one. That's just the way it goes. You're going to make something, you're going to, make something that will kill it. Or else you kill it. Unless you just, I don't know, whatever. And, I don't know what else to say about this coronavirus thing. I am not afraid of it. I'm sticking to Psalms 91, where it talks about pestilence and people dying on your right hand and your left hand. And, it may not be the coronavirus. And I'm going to talk to you why I think it's not the coronavirus. It may be a virus. I don't know. I'm just going to go in another direction. And then you can decide from there. Okay? Because coronavirus has been here before, as I stated. You will find out in this video. Now, I subscribe to the woman who does this this video. Her name is Dana. I tried looking for her on my subscription list, but the list was just enormous, and trying to find her in the last 10 minutes was impossible. But it's broken down. She has a 57-minute video out there about this thing, about this coronavirus. But this guy, I don't know how I got it, so maybe somebody gave it to me. I'm pretty sure somebody did, gave me this link to this one. James Munder. He took, oh, here we go, credit, Dana Ashlie. There you go, that's right in front of me. You see what we can miss when it's right in front of us too? When we're so consumed over something else that's in front of us, we miss what's right below us or right next to us. We're too fixated on something else. And there's only one thing we really should be fixated on anyway, right? And that's preparing ourselves. And it doesn't mean just, food and water, but yes, let's have extra food and water. I mean, why not? If you can, do it. I'm sure some neighbors will not be doing it. And you could save some lives if it ever does happen. If something somewhere along the line, whether it be coronavirus or an EMP or whatever, you will be prepared. You'll make a lot of new friends that way by having food to feed them as well. So I'm a big proponent of being prepared for that. Absolutely 100%. Now I'm trying to figure out where I was going. Okay, so let's go back to this video. So, Dana Ashlie, okay, and this is a 19-minute clip. When I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm just going to leave the link for you. It's either here 19 minutes or her site for the full 57 minutes. And this 19 minutes basically tells you a lot about what you need to know. And I'm going to start it right where I saw those little oxygen bubbles. Oxygen molecules. Let's see if we can play it. But basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sum it up for you. And then I'm going to, let's see if I can get there, for Pete's sake. Give me that first. All right. Just before the molecules. We're talking, I know this I told you it's going to take a different turn. So what this is, and it does have a lot to do factually with these cruise ships. Now, how did the people on the cruise ships end up getting the coronavirus? I mean, I guess some of them were in port in Japan, and then there was another ship somewhere else. But did somebody from China come while I was in port in Japan and hop on the cruise from there? And I highly doubt that. But it's very interesting that they would catch it out there at sea. And I know, yes, they were in port, but anyways, they had the coronavirus before they got into port. And so how did they get it? That is the big question. How did they get it? Well, this video is going to basically tell you another story. I'm going to tell you a story about the 5G and this G. And they're already slowing my page down. So I'm obviously saying the wrong thing. 98% of energy absorbed by O2. That's 60%, 60 gigahertz. And those on the ship out there are definitely being pinged 5G and 6G. They have their own, let's see, they have their own little, what do you call it, Wi-Fi bubbles out there. And they have a satellite that this particular company, okay, this particular company directly uses this particular satellite to beam this stuff down to the ships. so they can get their, do their press conferences, video conferences, all that stuff requiring Wi-Fi. They have these bubbles in this picture. Look at these little bubbles here. That is this frequency being beamed out throughout the ship after it's beamed down to the ship. Now, then we get into the big controversy. I don't really think it's a controversy. I just think it's a crime against humanity about this 5G and 6G. And we've shown you maps, okay? It's around here. It's all around us. I'll leave you this link too. You can just go to Google and just type in Wi-Fi, 5G or 6G networks in your area. You can go and select it by provider and city, Boston, Atlanta. I mean, it tells you where all these 5G and 6G scenarios will set up. Now, I want you to remember that only because once this hits America, this so-called coronavirus, I just want you to realize that these spots where these 5G and 6G are, well, mainly they're just calling it 5G right now, but they do have the capacity for 6G and 7G. That if and when, because it sounds like they're preparing for this coronavirus to sweep the United States, okay? They're preparing us, they're telling us to save food. FEMA is for 6 months. Okay, and they're telling us to prepare our communities for the same thing, and to do, in-home containments. That means you got, self-containment. Let's see if I have these out there too. They have these, put it out there last week, FEMA sites that they're now opening up for these coronavirus. They're actually sending the people from the cruise ships who were released because they were on military bases first, and then they were released. And then it was found out that they were being reinfected. And so they sent them off to a FEMA camp. And I do have it somewhere. Just can't find it right now. Maybe I didn't pick it up. Oh, well, here's one thing. There we go, from IntelliHub. Pentagon approves quarantining Americans against their will on military bases amid coronavirus outbreak. Well, that's not the same thing, but those people on the cruise ship did get reinfected, and they sent them to not just military bases, but these FEMA camps that we're all talking about. And they do mention it. I'm very surprised that I did not pick that up. Should have been here. Anyways, so with that, back to this video. This video just basically explains, okay, especially here in the beginning, when she talks about what 5G does to these molecules, these oxygen molecules that we need in us in order to interact with hemoglobin, our blood, in order to, keep the blood flowing and keep the, hemoglobin, the blood oxygenated. I'm sure Jody can tell you a little, a better way because she's been a nurse, I guess, something like that. So I guess when this 5G is beamed down, it rotates these molecules, which are two, and it rotates it so fast that it doesn't have time to adhere to the hemoglobin, the blood. And so you end up lacking oxygen that you need in order to operate. I guess she uses as an example, say if you're out there, you're jogging and your muscles start to ache and you're sweaty. That is your body craving the oxygen, and you need to pour in more. That's why you breathe heavier. Any case, that's just my way of trying to explain it. But this 5G and 6G just makes it very hard for these oxygen molecules to interact with the hemoglobin, which thus makes you pass out. What happens when you don't have oxygen? You pass out, right? Your heart, there's all kinds of problems that happen. Maybe Jody can type in a few of those things that happen when you have a lack of oxygen. Your heart stops working properly, your kidneys, I mean, what else? And the reason I say that is because this also, back on the 26th of January, China coronavirus spreading with no visible symptoms. And death toll continues to rise. I've seen a lot of videos since then. I've seen people just, walking slowly on the street and then all of a sudden just fall flat on their face. Spreading with no visible symptoms. Now, I know the flu, I guess you can probably see somebody who would have the flu. They probably look pretty sickly, probably sweating from a fever. In any case, and normally flu victims don't have the strength to go and walk and go to work. Now, cold maybe, but not the flu. I've had the flu. When I was a child, I had 105 temperature with the flu. Yeah, you know, my mother told me to do. Yeah, go run some water and put in a shock, and maybe other things would have happened. But as you can see, I'm still here, and somebody has a good reason for me being here, just like they have a good reason for you being here. We're all here for some reason. We're all here because there's a plan. And these weapons will have no effect on us. I'm sorry, but they won't. If you believe in Jesus Christ and you know all the promises and the things that he's, came here and did for us, and one of them is being, under the protection of his blood, which he gave, for us, for many things, to rid ourselves of the curse that Adam and Eve gave to us by sinning in the first place, and that was the curse of death. And our bodies, they still must die in order for us to get to heaven in our spiritual bodies. But we don't have to, endure anything in particular. The Bible says that there are some who will not taste death. If we believe in the rapture, which I do, I believe in First Thessalonians, it talks about being caught up with Jesus and, changing in a blink of an eye. How can you taste death then? I can't see how you could. And you wouldn't even be able to count it. Somebody tried to mention, what would a blink of an eye, how fast would that be? And you just wouldn't notice it. You just wouldn't notice it. You'd hear the Lord coming, the trumpet blast that's supposed to announce his coming in the clouds, like when he went away, and we'll be caught up with him. He's not coming to touch down that day, but we're going to be caught up with him, and we'll all come back later on in the last day. But in any case, so go watch this video. It's only 19 minutes. You can get most of it out of it. So, I'm just trying to think here for a second. Probably a bad idea, but trying to think where a good place to start it. So that is this picture right here from this video. Excuse me. This picture is this telescope that China apparently made. Some say that it's bigger than New York City. I don't know if that's really true. Looking at the pictures, but it's a very, very big, dish of some kind, beaming some kind of frequency or collecting it. Even Elon Musk and Tesla, they talked about putting up all these satellites and just beaming this 5G directly down into collectors. And then from there, I mean, here you got each side, you got these towers that are probably, what do you call them? I mean, that just send the frequencies to you. They want, in order to get this 5G down here, they have to have these collectors and they have to have these towers to pass them along. And they got to have a lot of them. What if they, in the case, we've heard about the 5G before. We've heard about it being tested in the UK and that it was killing animals left and right. Birds dropping out of trees and other things dropping out of trees. I mean, they take the water, these oxygen. I don't know whether I'm separating this, thinking about the water and oxygen, and are they the same? And she goes on. I don't know, just play some of this video for you, but yeah, let me see. Networks. So there's your cruise ship. So anyways, I won't put you through that, making you watch that, but I will leave the link. It'll probably be the first one when the video's done. It will be available on my webpage, 12pine.com first. Actually, the audio will be available like 5 minutes after we're done, but the video be on my website first, 12pine.com, and then it goes to YouTube. Well, then it goes to Facebook. So anyways, you could probably get the video within an hour after I'm done. So what else do I want to show you here about that? Oh yeah, all these other things. I think we've already seen that one. Yeah, and this is the technology that senator, actually, if you remember that, I don't know if anyone else has seen it, but I've seen it, where a senator came out and warned anybody against interfering with the 5G technology, or as Dana calls it, the FIVEG. Okay, there's some things you can't say, I guess. You'd be flagged and shadow banned and all that other stuff. But yeah, there is no data out there, and the companies apparently did not, or at least pay for any kind of data collection on any kind of effects that these things would have on humans. Let's go look at, there's a Connecticut congressman. Maybe it's in the video. Yeah. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, maybe it's not in that one. I know I have it somewhere, but it just goes on. There's a Connecticut congressman that asked these people who are making this 5G, have they done any studies? Have they spent any money in data collection to find out whether these things are harmful to people? And they said, no, we haven't done any studies. And that senator says, don't interfere with it, because this is a probably $1 trillion industry that they're trying to get off the ground. They're getting a lot of kickback from it, though. That's good. I mean, this can literally, give them their 500 million, according to the Georgia Guidestone 10 Commandments. Their first commandment, bring it down to a manageable 500 million. Now, I don't see how they can say that that is a manageable number. Why don't we just take, them and send them off to Mars or wherever they want to go? Anyways, I can't find it. So, probably in that link, the very first link where Blumenthal, that's the, guess he's in the Senate now. He used to be our, anyways, I didn't like him anyways. He didn't do Connecticut any good. Still not. So I guess that's it, but I wanted you to warn you that this may not even be the coronavirus. It may be just I don't know if it's a test run. And if a test run, how long do you think that they'll wait? Do you think that they, trying to bring these numbers down? This Agenda 2030? I mean, are they implementing this? There's a lot of things they could be implementing. They're talking about the money. They're talking about the actual paper money, that it's all tainted. It's got viruses and other things on it. And yeah, I'm sure some of it does. Yeah, that stuff is pretty gross. Been through everybody, a lot of people's hands. Yeah, I mean, go through the same thing when you go to the wherever you go shopping for groceries, push that cart along. Hopefully you have gloves or something on, or some kind of wipe to wipe it down to kill it. I mean, in that video with Dana there, she talks about the coronavirus being here before, and they have these wipes and stuff that says that it kills the coronavirus. So what are they talking about? Why don't they have a cure or saying that they have a cure for coronavirus when they actually do? Just like everything else, people, your government right now, they're not for you. They're not going to protect you. They're going to protect the rich. And, I hate to say it, but this is the place we live in now, run by one of the covering cherubs who, fell from grace. Yeah. Got very prideful and ended up hating everybody else, especially humans. And, the governments, our own government with this Social Security problem, they just keep spending the money that they're not supposed to be touching, or at least they're supposed to be replacing with interest. But that's all you hear now is this Social Security thing is has a problem. And it's because the government keeps taking from it. Things were just left as, what they were intended in the first place to do would have been great. But that's not the system we live in. And I don't know, if you've ever seen the movie Soylent Green, I know it's a little bit like it, and there's some instances that you can point to in that movie. Because believe me, Hollywood does tell you some things in those movies, and I think that they have to tell you some of those things. So, in the twinkling of an eye. Is that what it says? Yeah. So, if I'm only getting figures of 60-year-olds plus dying, is there some kind of water retention problem in elderly people? Do they already have a lack of oxygen getting to their blood in order for it to work properly? Is that one of the degenerative effects of becoming old? I don't know. I can't answer those questions, that's for sure. But, what a way to get away from that responsibility, right? They're trying all kinds of stuff. They're trying to bring in suicide by doctor. They're trying to bring in euthanasia by doctor. That's what I mentioned Soylent Green for. That's what, Cy, I guess his name, I forget it. I talked to World Watchman about this again. Yeah, at a certain age, it's kind of your duty, I guess, to, even if you don't want to go, it's your duty to go and basically euthanize yourself. You get into some room, you have monitors all around you. You can pick, from different scenes to look at. The calmest, I guess, I don't know, to have this be acceptable to us. And all I can say is it's never going to be acceptable to just go and kill off a population because they can't keep up with anybody else's particular standards. I mean, it's just crazy stuff. So in any case, people, here is some maps. I tried to find the one I had before. I couldn't, but I'll leave this link for you. You can, like I said, go to Google. All these blue dots, this is just AT&T, true 5G coverage. And all these villains who put these things up, install these in your house, they are processed through and told that this 5G is not the 5G that everyone else is talking about. This is a different 5G. It's not. It's still going to be beamed, and the frequencies are going to be beamed into you through your head, whatever. It's going to cause problems. I'm just looking back when I was sick a week and a half ago. That maybe even that was an attack. I have to probably say that. I don't usually get sick. But when I do get sick, and it only happens once every, 15 years or so, maybe longer, I end up being, usually sick for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. So it seemed like, I guess, I was due. I'm not going to actually own that, but the more I think about it, I think that I was already attacked. I think that many other people have been attacked and they just don't know it. They think it's this thing, this coronavirus. Yeah, so they're not even up reconfiguring it. So in any case, I'm going to bring you just two more articles before we're done here. I don't know. I hope I didn't confuse you. I just basically wanted to tell you that this is not anything worse than the flu. Actually, it's not worse than the flu. The flu is actually, it has killed 49 people here in Connecticut already. And that was, 2 weeks ago. Who knows? I mean, this is the season. Even the CDC says we will find out. I mean, that's one of the things that they were optimistic about. And so Trump goes and takes the optimistic angle because they were willing to give it. The CDC gave it. He didn't give it. He just took it. What's wrong with that? I mean, this could be seasonal too. That's what the CDC said. It could go away once the weather starts getting warm. People are just being, fear-mongered, period. That's what it is. It's being thrown out there. And all these stories and videos, I don't know what's going on in China. I mean, they got a lot of people. And it's already put in many people's head that there's too many people on Earth for the resources that we have. And that's not true either. Go take a look at the map. Go look at night, and I'm sure they got pictures of lights, but there are more people living where there isn't lights, don't necessarily have to have light, but go look at the globe at night, kind of back away. You probably get some satellite probably has a picture. And you can see where the majority of the population is. They're usually, pretty well lit up. There's plenty of places on this earth for people to live and plenty of resources for everyone. I mean, if the federal government would stop using all this federal land and closing it up and using it only for their benefit instead of, letting people, live there and spread out a little bit more. I mean, look at what Israel did. Look what they did to a desert. They went to the ocean. They took the salt out of the ocean water and pumped it into a desert and made it green. Israel did. And I know we can do it. We won't do it because we claim that it's too, cost, whatever. The cost is just more than what it was worth. I guess, not enough profit. And that is the reason for a lot of things these days, or everything. And people, you're covered under the blood of Jesus Christ. And just need only believe that. I mean, I actually mentioned that today with somebody. We were talking about somebody, I don't know, somebody was talking about somebody drinking and they were swaying back and forth and other things. And she says, yeah, some lady said that it's a generational thing. It's an old thing. I says, no, sister, it's not. I mean, even the younger generation, they're drunk all the time. They're either drinking or using drugs or, doing stuff like detergent from dishwashers and, swallowing that stuff. People are just, they have no direction. There is no hope for them because of this world. It's just pointing them in that direction. And we just have to remind them that there is so much more than that. We're here to be refined. We're here to, in our physical bodies, to actually become spiritual. And if I'm just saying, been a Christian. I'm not a Christian. I mean, I try to be like Christ. I try to follow him. He gave us a book for us to follow, and he came to earth as a human being, and he showed us in his actions how and what we are to do. And if we only follow that, I mean, just the Bible alone is a way of life that is, it's just so much more than anything we have now. It's more abundant. There's just more joy in it. I mean, if you follow that man, in one of his last two laws, and probably the only two laws, is to love one another, as you would love yourself. Love your enemies. I mean, if you can do those two things, the rest of it's easy peasy. Really, it is. Easy peasy. I'm telling you. From experience. I've been in the pits of hell. I've been in the dark places. Kind of like Garth Brooks would say. I know people in low places, and I probably still do, although I try and, not go there. I haven't been there in a while, but I still know them. But in any case, yeah, we need to learn to step away from the things that are bringing us in the wrong direction, making us do the wrong things. We need to understand that those are the wrong things, and that doing the right things will bring life more abundantly. Jesus Christ is our blessed hope. We believe that, and he, did over there in that particular area, supposedly still do today. And Jesus said a lot of things in the Bible and made sure certain things were done to follow that tradition of the wedding of Jesus and us. Eventually, Jesus, the bridegroom, is going to come, his bride, us, the people. And he's going to take us away. He's going to take us to his Father's house. And I don't know, I'm still, I saw a movie over the weekend called Before the Wrath. And it's about an hour, 20 minutes. And I wish I could share that, but I don't know, maybe eventually you can go over to Olive Tree Ministries, go look at it there, Before the Wrath. I had to wait quite a while for mine, but I'm sure that they have copies now. But it's a perfect example, the example, besides the Bible, to show you why everything is happening. I can basically put it that way. Why everything is happening. In a nutshell. So, no fear, really. There is no fear. I mean, you can actually have no fear. You have Jesus Christ, and if you Pray to your Father, your God, whatever you want to call him. Okay, call him whatever you will in the beginning. He still will answer you. But there is always that, he will always be there for you. You can always go there. It's not like he's going to go away. Matter of fact, he's coming back. So with that, let's see, today is Wednesday. Okay, so hopefully, Lord willing, I'll be back Friday unless something really spectacular happens, like a sudden outbreak in the U.S. and every state in the union, and they're starting to declare martial law. I will definitely be back. Maybe in the FEMA camp. Yeah, just don't let them tattoo you. Anyways, God bless everyone. Look up, man. Your redemption draws nigh. Peace be with everyone. God bless and peace out.